My name is Ruth Scott, and I am currently the cupcake queen of South Jersey. But I wasn't always the cupcake queen. I wasn't always royalty. I did not always rule my queendom domain. At one time, I was a wife. I was Hannah's mom, and I was the cupcake mom. I'm still Hannah's mom. I'm no longer the cupcake mom, and I'm no longer a wife. So, well, it's all right. No, I don't know. Have you met him? I don't know. He's all right. Everybody deserves to be happy. I grew up, and I thought I was going to save the world and change the world, and I was going to make a difference, like Kim. I was going to do big things. I actually went to a performing arts high school, and I sang, and I was going to move to New York, and I was going to sing in smoky clubs, and I was going to, Ella Fitzgerald was going to be my best friend. That didn't happen. I decided I needed to get a job and stop asking my mother for money. Sometimes people need to learn to turn off their phones. It's all good. I did see Ella Fitzgerald a couple of times, but I had to pay a lot of money to do that. And I learned that I needed a good job to do that. I liked not asking my mom for money. I got a job at a advertising agency. I put all of those skills that I learned from being in theater and wanting to run my own theater, I put that to good use at an ad agency. And I took those skills with me to Louisville, Kentucky, where I went to hang out with my mom while she enjoyed the end of her life with Alzheimer's. There are many lessons there. Most of them were good. It's all how you look at life and the lessons that are presented to you. While I was there, I met my husband. It was okay. I landed in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. It's still all right. But I learned that I still wanted to change the world, so I took a job with a nonprofit. You should stick to your skill set. This is very, very important. If you are creative, you might not be the best person at filing all day long. I am not good at filing for an hour or 15 minutes or for 3 years. But I did stick it out for 3 years because I was sure I was going to save the world. I was going to help those kids at risk. I was going to love them like their mothers hadn't loved them because somebody had to, and it wasn't me. I was presented the door, and I accepted that presentation, and I walked out the door. I remained friends with my former boss. We're still very friendly. We hang out at the pool in the summertime. Don't burn your bridges. Very, very important, especially in the little world of Cherry Hill, New Jersey. But in any world, don't burn your bridges. I found myself without a job. I found myself without a husband. And I found myself with my mother's recipes. And I puttered around my house while my daughter was in school. My girlfriends came over. I made crazy flavored recipes. I improved upon, sorry, Mom. I improved upon my mother's recipes. I put some booze in those cupcakes. My mother never drank. She should have, but she didn't. And so my girlfriends would say to me, you really need to sell these. They're fabulous. I'm like, no. I'm not going to do that. I just want the house to smell good when my daughter comes home. I need to have my mom near me, so I'm cooking her recipes, and I need to feel her. And somebody talked me into doing a food competition. I don't know how they did that because right now I'm shaking standing here. So doing a food competition with 20 vendors that had national recognition. There was somebody who had been on Cupcake Wars. She didn't win, but that's all right. It's all good. I went and I baked in my little suburban Cherry Hill kitchen that hadn't been updated from the 1950s. that little oven, I baked 500 mini margarita cupcakes. This is an important lesson. If you don't want to drink it, don't bake with it. I tested a lot of tequila, and I found a good one, and I baked those 500 mini margarita cupcakes. I had a good friend, and she nudged me the whole time. Everybody should have somebody in their life that pushes you out of your comfort zone, pushes you along, and will be there to catch you when you fall, but pushes you hard, because otherwise you can get really stuck. Everybody should have somebody like that in their life, Sarah. So, it's true. And so I'm standing there with these huge catering trays of 500 mini margaritas, and the fumes of the tequila, they're coming up, and I am at the door having a huge panic attack. I am in tears, and my girlfriend is in the car. She won't get out of the car and open the door for me, which, you know, whatever, what kind of friend is that? And she calls me, so I have to put down the cupcakes, and I am in tears. I can't do this. I'm not coming out. I don't want to do this. You cannot make me. And then she started cursing at me and said, yes, you are. You're going to get out here. You're going to do this. And she was right. I picked up my stuff. I had printed out my own business cards, you know, the kind that you fold, right? And you break off the edges from the Avery stuff, right? And I printed out on my little printer my brochures that I totally made stuff up. And I used a really big font so that I had a good trifold, right? Because I had to look like I was professional. And I went to this food vendor event, and it was a contest to see who was the favorite. There were national brands there. I'd never heard of Rita's water ice. I really still think that water ice is redundant because all ice is made from water, otherwise it's not ice. But it's a thing here. I really felt my mom with me in that moment. I was standing there, and I realized as people were coming in to this venue that it wasn't really about the cupcakes. It was about people that I knew in my life that came to support me. And it was crazy. There were people that I had only waved to that were walking through the door to come in and vote for me. I am telling you, it is about who you know and who knows and likes you. It is really about putting out your best person when you're representing your brand and when you're representing yourself. And so I stood there with my cupcakes. I like to say that I'm pimping out my cupcakes, but I've been told that I'm not supposed to say that. But I was pimping out my cupcakes. I was pushing little mini margarita cupcakes, and people were eating them. And yeah, the chick in the back, in the way back of the room that had been on Cupcake Wars, again, she did not win because that night I won. And it was pretty awesome. And I stood there in tears as they handed me, you know, the thing that they printed themselves on their own printer. And I'm telling you, it hangs in my office. It is above my computer. But that night I realized that everybody should have people in their life that push them hard and are there for you, but they push you with love because you can do so many things. I had been fired, I had been divorced, I had been many things that were not very positive, and yet I had a couple of key people in my life. Oh, please tell me you're not crying. Because this is a sweet ending. Get it? It's all good. I have since done many wonderful things. I found that networking was really the key to finding good people in my life that continue to push me, that continue to send me texts telling me I can do it. I can stand up in front of people even though I'm shaking in my boots. And my mother is still with me sometimes in the kitchen. I sing to her. It's kind of crazy. My daughter is still proud of me, so I'm still sort of the cupcake mom, and I still have people in my life, and I'm very blessed And I recognize that every day. So make sure you've got somebody that pushes you hard because it's really important.